Hey North Bay peeps, and welcome to our North Bay Shared Drive. I wanted to give you a quick tutorial of what you can find here and how to navigate what we've put here. The idea of all of this is to obviously organize things and simplify things for you. So if you have any questions, obviously reach out and we'll try to make it as easy as possible. Up at the top, you're going to see a couple of folders. You should see your own middle school folder, and that's going to house any documents that are specific to your own middle school, and then underneath are just kind of some general forms, videos, and stuff like that. So if you need anything that's more general, that's where that'll be housed, and we'll be adding things as things pop up. I wanted to show you as coordinators what your specific folders are going to have in them. This is kind of going to be your workspace to collect the information that you need, and all the stuff that Lisa Marshall needs from her end can be accessed this way. So again, the idea here is to simplify things, and hopefully we've done that this year. It might look a little more complex, but hopefully in the long run it simplifies things and makes it a little bit more organized and uniform throughout, across all the middle schools. So within your folder, you're going to first see the kind of letterhead and the packet that went home to your students, specific to your school. So it should have the dates that your school is going in it. Also, you're going to see these other sheets, and this is the important stuff where you're going to be working and collecting a lot of your work. So you're going to see a cabin list, a chaperone list, student information, and then teacher information. So we'll start off, the student information sheet is probably going to be where you're going to be spending most of your time, and it's going to look something like this. You will have your, starting off with kind of a school overview page. All of this is automatically kind of inputted as you are putting in your data from each of your homerooms. So if you sent me the names of your homeroom teachers, you should see tabs for each of them along the bottom for each homeroom. So I will go to mine just so you can kind of see one that's in progress. So here I have student names, the homeroom. The t-shirt size is a drop-down menu. And so as I selected for a student, it will automatically kind of populate over here. So there's nothing you really need to do on this side. This is just kind of a, a ticker tape or a place that houses the data. Add male or female. And then one thing that's kind of important here, just so you guys know where these calculations are coming from and how many students are going versus not going. All of it is calculated based on whether or not they have all their forms brought in. So all these 3 students have their forms turned in. However, if they didn't, you'll notice that this would turn back to no, and then over here they would kind of go back into the category of students missing forms or not going. So that's just how this document is set up, so just kind of be aware of that. As you add students, it will kind of autofill anything that needs to be filled out. One question that I know was brought up was this medication authorization form. If a student does not have any medication that they need, they don't need to bring back that form. Still check yes for them, so that this will show that all of the forms were, kind of considered and accounted for. Obviously, if they do need that form, you want to check over and make sure that it's filled out properly before you select yes. So each of these homerooms are all going to be linked back to your school overview page, so there's nothing that you really need to do here. This is just kind of a readout for you. The next sheet that we want to take a look at is the chaperone list, which looks a little something like this. As I've gotten interest from a few different parents, I'm just collecting their names, male or female, the student name, which will come in handy when you start to create cabin list, and then kind of collect their information so that you can reach out. Across the top, you're going to see these are all of the different like clearances and forms that you might need from them. All of these are hyperlinked, so if you need the form or you need instructions for it, if you click on it, it will take you to the form. So if you need to print it out and email it to them, that should be an easy way to do that. All of these forms are also found in the Google Drive, the shared drive. As you get final commitment from each of your chaperones, you'll check that off. And then moving along, what we'd like for you to do is determine their level of commitment. So if they can go all the entire week, Obviously, you'd select all of these, and it'll kind of calculate for you down here. This is going to be really important as we try to figure out where we need to fill gaps with chaperones and what our numbers are for that. So that's pretty much all there is for chaperones. Another document that is going to be important is the teacher information, and this is just going to house, similar to chaperones, the teachers that are willing to go or who want to go, their information. We'll do a checkbox here if they return their waiver, and then again their level of commitment, so that we have an idea of when the teachers are going to be there and when we might have gaps. Lastly is the cabin list. This is probably the most simple one. As you guys start to organize which students are going to be in which cabins, you can just kind of fill this out as you go. Once we send this to North Bay, they will organize them and give us the actual cabin names that they'll be in, and so we can go in and change that once we know those cabin names. So I think that is all that I have for you. The kind of the big picture here is that all this information is then going to go back from your sheet and go on the Lisa Marshall Command Center, and so this is kind of a cool area where we can maybe even have a competition and see how many students are going, and we kind of have an idea of and this really it's for Lisa to get a big picture of how many students are going, how many forms there are, what our chaperones numbers are like, what our teacher numbers are like, so that it's all kind of in one place. So that's kind of the big picture and the big why behind why we're doing this, but hopefully too it makes it a lot easier for you. That is again the point of all of this. So if you are finding that your sheets aren't working or the numbers aren't adding up the way that they should or whatever, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and it might just be a quick tweak from my end to fix whatever's going on. But as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Patty Minch, or Lisa Marshall, and we can make sure that you get everything you need to make this as seamless and headache-free as possible. I hope you guys are enjoying the beginning of your school year, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.